into more of the specific use, as we said, and you heard it. It's quite blurred, but basically we have some of the public aspect and the military, and then the civil. So let's focus now or illustrate some aspect on the public and defense part. And Meir, over to you.
Thank you very much. I would like to simplify the space to everyone by very simple words, and not by going very high in science and technology of space. 20 years ago, there were only 2 countries could literally launch satellites to the space, which were the United States and Russia. Over time, more and more countries were able to launch satellites into space. As the need for satellite services in space increased, so did the ability of many entities to launch satellites. And the services the satellites are giving us to people may be not aware that many things that are used day by day coming from space. So the users could be, as you see, many of the things we're dealing every day. Observation, intelligence, communication, internet, television, navigation, accurate weapon aiming. And almost all of those services, and much more, are used day by day by most of the people, and they don't know that it's coming, a matter of fact, from the space. Now, we are in the new trend of the new space. Things have been changing in the world very drastically. To explain it, I wanted to let you know that there are 10 nanosatellites were constructed by students in Israeli high schools, and the cost for a satellite was something like $300,000, including to build a clean room, launch it, communication station that they keep connection with these satellites, and they work 8 years and more. So today, as I said, there are 8 nanosatellites had been built by high school, and the numbers growing all the time. I want you to see this, one of the schools is Arab school in Taipei. So you can hear the students themselves. If the voice will work.
Project.
The voice didn't work, but you can hear the student say how proud she is in order to be part of this project to build a satellite from the high school and launch it to space and be in connection with it all the time. Now, if we go on, there are today in the sky something like 10,000 satellites in the space. It seems to be a very great number, but matter of fact, when taking the space, how large it is, matter of fact, nothing. It's not really interrupting thing. But as you know, eventually, many satellites are during the time are disintegrated. So hundreds of thousands of parts are floating in the space, coming up from those satellites which had been stopped working or disintegrated. There is a chance, of course, that some of those parts can hurt or touch another satellites. Therefore, for example, there is a communication station on Earth that giving the international station, the Meir, the international satellites in the world, giving him a warrant if some part is coming close into them. In that case, they're going into a small space, which is protected until it passes, and then they continue their own launch. Now, because satellites is filled of so much junk, a new invention come from Israel that try to clean the space junk. What they did, the Israeli company decided to develop a method to clean the space. They invented something between $100 and $200 million investment. First idea was to send a satellite which will give them a push to those parts and throw them away into the deep space. But then they come with a better idea. They come with a better idea that says we will build the satellites, which will become close to every satellite which stop working, and recharge it, and give it much more years to work without being just a space junk, but re-operate those satellites. Of course, satellites, you have to know that every satellite is floating around the world, and it's flying in every 1.5 hours, it passes the same point on the world. But sometimes, you know, we need the satellite will stand on a certain point. That's what we call geosynchronous satellites, that will stay fixed on one point. In that case, this satellite is flying in the speed of the globe, of the Earth. For example, if Israel would like to know what happens in Iran, in every moment, what happens in Iran, is any missile coming out from there towards Israel, then we have a satellite standing over Iran, which should look all the time, and of course we see it immediately, what's going on exactly on that point. So we can protect ourselves if we will arrive to that point, that some satellite, some missile will come from Iran towards Israel. Then we can protect ourselves in a way that I will show later. The technology became so accessible that situation Israel started here in order to build more and more satellites, we tried to change the weight of satellite. Because, you know, to develop, to launch 1 kilogram to the space costs something like every 1 kilogram, $100,000. So if we can reduce the weight of satellites, we can save a lot of money. So private companies began to develop launch system much more cheaper by doing something very, very special. By using the fact that we can reduce the weight of the practical which building the satellite. Just for example, screw. Screw is nothing. But if we can save 1 gram of screw by making it hollow, not full of metal, but hollow, so we save 1 gram of every screw. But there are 100,000 screws in a satellite. So we save something like 100 kilogram. Double 100 kilogram with $100,000, you see they come with saving a lot of money. That's what I explain now. Now, the technology became accessible to everyone, and therefore, private companies started to launch satellites themselves. They don't much more low prices than NASA, especially when you take in the possibility that those private companies like Tesla and others can reuse the missiles. It reduced the prices very, very, very strongly. Israel built a spacecraft which called Bereshit, in investment which cost something like $100 million only. And they sent it to the moon. It landed on the moon. I'm sorry that by mistake it was crashed, because by mistake of the people, human mistake, during the landing process. They make a mistake and it would crash on the moon. Now we're building the second one, which will be Bereshit second. You can see the picture of this. This is the Bereshit, which is stay crashed on the moon. The second one will be on the way. We are, as a matter of fact, in a trend that many private companies, as I explained before, are making launching to the sky by reducing the prices. It gives us more and more possibilities. As far as we can use satellites for better uses, we do more important things. For example, Israel with France launched to the skies 2 big satellites which called Venus 1 and Venus 2. Venus 1 and Venus 2 have one purpose. Venus 1, it is a multi-spectral satellite, which, as a matter of fact, can absorb from the globe 12 different radiation. So we can follow the situation of agricultural, of ice, of water, of many other things. And then we launched the second one, which have, it calls hyperspectral, which have 120 radiation possibilities. So the possibilities for Israel and France, which using it to see from this space what's going on Earth in so many things that can really help the human being to change a lot of things and have been. This is the launch of this Venus, you can see it, which is done from...
Allumage P80, décollage.
Lately, Orion had been sent to the moon, as you know, with a rocket, and in it, there was a mankind dolls, kind of dolls, or like a human being, wearing special suits against radiation. And the nice thing about it, these suits had been developed by Israeli company, private Israeli company. Why it is important? Because the flight from Israel, the flight from Earth to the moon, it's take not a long time, and therefore the radiation which the body can get over there, it's not killing them. But to go tomorrow, according to the Orion mission, Artemis, to go from moon to Mars, it will take more than a year. Radiation of a year will kill the astronauts. So if these dolls will come back, they will check really what was the protection that they gave radiation. If that will be really good, that opened the way really to continue the process of sending people to Mars, because the idea of sending people to Mars have to be really viable, that people have to stay alive when they arrive over there. Space also is a protection medium, as I show now. Israel, of course, use it. It's one of the first countries in the world which use the space as part of protection to ourselves, to our state. For example, we're developing the Arrow missiles, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is, a matter of fact, capable of flying at unbelievable speed outside of the atmosphere to intercept any missile against Israel. I can show you a trial.
Arrow is clear to fire.
Arrow copy. 5,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Arrow away.
טיל באוויר, טיל
Arrow
באוויר.
away.
IMDO,
Well,
Israel Missile Defense Organization.
Last but not least, this is one of the very new things that have in Israel. They're already to protect ourselves from missiles that can come from Iran, different places out of space. And the last one, but not the least, is the very new laser weapon, which is developed in Israel and they're developing today in the United States, which create, a matter of fact, possibility of ourselves to protect Israel from any kind of weapon which send over Israel, missiles, mortars, and everything. By laser ray, we can intercept all of them with the speed of light, which is, 360,000 kilometers per second, and a very low cost, because you have to understand today, when we have the last clash with Gaza, they send over Israel 1,000 missiles blindly to Israel. Today, we intercept them with the Iron Dome, but every missile of Iron Dome costs something like $100,000. So make the doubles, it's millions of dollars to protect ourselves. We intercept 95% of them. But with the laser beam, we can intercept all of them with almost no cost, because it's, matter of fact, it's just a ray of light. You can operate it, it's smart, doesn't matter how many missiles will be against you, you can intercept all of them. And I'll show you as well this trial of this laser weapon. You can see it here.
2,
2,
1.
1. מטרה יצאה.
Target launched.
מערכת
Target
נעולה.
engaged.
מטרה הושמדה.
Target successfully intercepted.
הפעלת לייזר בוצעה.
Laser interception in progress.
מטרה הושמדה.
Successfully intercepted.
Thank you.
Now you see that we showed an example how it works. It's called the shield, light shield. It is now in the end of the developing with United States. United States now join Israel to do it. That could be possibility in the future, in my opinion, to put such a missile in the sky that can protect us from the space or against any missile. Now,
Come on.
excuse me. Yeah, I'm finished. Now we pass from the cyber everything to artificial intelligence. That's the new thing in Israel, in the world. Israel is one of the first, also in the
Let's leave
AI,
it for the
which
question.
can change. Yes, I'm finishing. It's going to change, in matter of fact, a lot in the life of people. I believe that if all of the plans of the artificial intelligence will come true, it will change the life of people in a very, very drastic way, I hope, for good. Thank you.
Thank you, Meir, for this overview of the possibilities, be it terrestrial, in space, and connecting the two.